Hey y'all, okay, you can't really see my sweater, but I'm really proud of it. I'm going to an ugly sweater Christmas bar crawl, and I want to be in the Christmas spirit up until Christmas. I have a lot of Christmas sweaters, so I'm probably gonna wear one in every video. Look at this fucking masterpiece, and you can put a beer in here. Like, you can put a drink in there, and it says Santa's Drinking Squad, and it says Brewed Off. Like, you're joking. It's perfection. You're not gonna be able to see it like the whole video, but I had to show you. But I am back, and I have some Christmas horror stories for you guys. These are gonna be similar to the dating ones I just posted. They're not like scary. They're kind of funny and unfortunate. I've been liking reading like funnier stories recently. I don't know. We're just trying something new. I promise I'll go back to the scary stuff after this. I found like paranormal Christmas stories too, but I'll probably tell those next week because I just read paranormal stories. And these seem funny, so we're gonna read them. I don't care what you think. A warning. Just a warning. Some of these are about, I'm busy. Some of these are about a certain somebody. If you have kids, I wouldn't watch this with them. If you have young children, you have to know what I mean. I can't say anything more than that. And that's a warning, and if I fuck this up for you, if Christmas is ruined now, it's your fault. It's not my fault anymore. You have 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, you better be gone. You better be gone. Because I'm about to read the first one, and it's gonna be all ruined for you. I found out Santa wasn't real. Not because my parents told me, but because the bike I got from Santa came in a box that my dad left in the garage, and it had a giant picture of the bike I got printed on the side. If Christmas is ruined now, it's not my fault. I tried to warn you. And also, little children should not be watching my videos. Just saying. I mean, I understand. Like, people tell me all the time they love watching their videos with my kids. Wait, people tell me all the time they love watching my videos with their kids, and their kids really like me for some reason. I feel bad because I like swear and say bad things all the time. That's like totally on you, not on me. Not on me at all. We're gonna move on. I was opening presents with my then boyfriend in front of his huge religious family. We had been together for some time, and we all thought he was going to propose to me. They all waited with bated breath while I opened the tiny envelope from him that he had put a lot of thought into. The envelope contained a gift certificate for laser mole removal. Never once had I expressed any interest in this. I couldn't decide whether to cry or laugh. We broke up shortly thereafter. On Christmas Eve in 2019, I was at work and I got a call from my uncle saying that I needed to go find my dad. His wife of 22 years, my stepmom, was caught in an affair with a coworker and she had just left him. He was an absolute wreck. I threw some of his things in a suitcase and we drove 3+ hours in a snowstorm on Christmas Eve to take him to my uncle's house. My husband and I didn't have a big enough apartment for him to stay. That is, oh my God, I thought these were gonna be funny. That's really sad. Okay, I take back what I said about these being funny. Okay, after my parents got divorced, they took us on the typical middle class, I'm sorry we just separated vacation. The 4 of us, mom, dad, me, and sibling, went to Disney World for Christmas. Mom and dad fought the whole time, and then dad lost my 3-year-old sibling in the park. My sibling was missing for a good 20 minutes, and I think the only reason mom didn't murder dad was because we needed the extra body to search for the missing sibling. Fast forward 25 years, and dad now takes his new family to Disney World for Christmas. Meanwhile, mom, sibling, and I have never been back. These are really, okay, these are bad. My uncle got sent a letter. It got there a little bit before Christmas, and it was from his 18-year-old son that he did not know he had. So yeah. He told us at Christmas. Dude. Years ago, I was dating a guy for a few months when Christmas rolled around, so I splurged a bit and got him a GPS to help him find his way. Thoughtful, useful, but not too sentimental. It felt perfect for where the relationship was at the time. He gave me an MMA magazine that had clearly been read. I do not like MMA, not even a little bit, nor have I ever expressed interest in MMA, not once. He, on the other hand, loved all things MMA. Trying to move on, I politely thanked him, set the magazine down, and refocused on the next gift. It was a DVD with the cellophane wrapper missing. He got a little quiet, then sheepishly volunteered. I got bored, so I watched the movie yesterday. I slowly responded, so you got me a magazine because you wanted to read it, then watched the movie you got for me because you were bored? His response was, well, yeah, I guess so. We broke up a week later. Oh my God, that's awful. That's a good one. It's terrible, but that's a good one. When I was a toddler, we were supposed to go to Savannah to visit my mom's family for Christmas. My dad said he couldn't go because he lost his wallet. It turned out that some prostitutes he had slept with took his money, identification cards, and all of the cocaine he'd been carrying. We ended up going to Georgia without him. Unsurprisingly, my parents are not together anymore, and I'm estranged from my father. I was an RA in college, and the dorm stayed open during Christmas break for the first time ever because so many of the students couldn't afford to go home. I volunteered for Christmas week because the other RAs would have to cancel plane tickets and my family lived within driving distance. Christmas Eve wound up being the duty shift from hell. There were fights, a room was trashed, cops were called twice, the heater went out, and I did not get to sleep until 6:30 a.m. Oh, I would hate my life. So it wasn't my family, thank God, but one of my friends. Her uncle got caught cheating at the dinner table when his phone buzzed and her aunt saw the incoming text. She started screaming and crying, throwing her dinner at him, etc. My friend dared to laugh, so then her aunt turned, sometimes I say aunt, sometimes I say aunt, whatever. Her aunt turned on her, started insulting her and telling her how she would never get a man. So then the mom stands up and starts to yell, and the whole family gets involved. The aunt starts to insult everyone, calling them backstabbers and lowlifes, and then calls me an intruding bitch. I've never visited a friend over the holidays since. You were with them? You intruding bitch? Oh my god, wait, shut the fuck, that's so embarrassing for everyone involved. Like, oh my god. And what, I understand, actually, I would probably react the same way. I would probably react the same way. If I just found out I got cheated on, I would blow up on everyone. It's such an unexpected thing and your emotions just take over. I really don't blame the aunt. My dad's family lives in Canada, so every Christmas we would fly up there to visit everyone. This time my brother's about 6 and I'm about to turn 8. Perfect age for traveling nightmares, right? Well, God decides to shit out snow all over the Toronto airport and we spent 8 hours on Christmas Eve trapped inside the airport. My brother and I are being horribly bratty because we're hungry and want to open presents and run around. Finally, after the 8-hour delay, we get on our plane and end up landing around 1 a.m. Now it's at this point that my mother realizes she has no food at home for us to eat. She's got 2 starving, up too late brats and no food. The only place open is Waffle House, so we had our family Christmas dinner at Waffle House. The only other people in there are a bunch of drunk mall Santas who told my brother and I that we were being lied to, and this whole Santa thing was a little bullshit. Shut up, you're joking, you're lying. That's horrible. My dad and uncle got into a physical fight over who would buy my grandfather a new chair. Dad's glasses and my uncle's nose were broken. My husband's stepmother gave me, a 36-year-old at the time, a kindergarten-sized backpack for Christmas. When I opened it, she said, I actually bought that for a child a few years ago and she hated it, so I threw it in a closet and I saw it and I thought you would like it. None of us did. We all think it's ugly. That same year, they gave my 3 kids gifts totaling together $15 with the clearance stickers still on them, while her biological granddaughter opened a $300 unicorn. They made sure we knew it cost $300, and then they pointed out our clearance stickers to everyone and what great deals they were. They weren't. And then they made my kids leave the room so the granddaughter could take pictures alone with her unicorn. It was the last Christmas we visited them. Who is this again? Your husband's stepmother. I would punch her in the throat. Growing up, we always went to my aunt and uncle's house for Christmas Eve dinner. It was usually a full house of about 35 people or more, all family. One Christmas Eve, we were all sitting down to dinner when my Aunt Elle, whose house it was, got into an argument with her sister, Aunt R. It escalated to the point where they were screaming at each other, and my sister, cousins, and I were being herded into the basement to go play or something. It ended when my other Aunt M yelled that she was sick of the family drama and it was time to come clean. She announced that my oldest cousin was not the biological daughter of Aunt Elle, but was actually R's child. Apparently when R got pregnant, she was too young and irresponsible to raise her, so Elle stepped in and took over. You could have heard a pin drop in that moment. That's it. I'm speechless. I am speechless. That is not what I was expecting at all. That was just like a family fight. What the fuck? Okay. One Christmas, my brother and father got into a fight and cops had to be called. My brother was arrested and spent the next 3 months in jail. Merry Christmas! This happened when I was a little kid, so I don't remember exactly how it started. But my 3 aunts on my mom's side ended up getting into a huge fight. One of them threw the phone as she lives far away. While my mom was on the phone with that one trying to calm her down, the other 2 were running around the house, flipping each other off. Picture that video of 2 guys flipping each other off in the street and yelling until one of them got so mad that she left. My entire family and I were just sitting in the living room watching this go down. Needless to say, I've never tried so hard not to laugh in my life. I would die. I would actually fucking die. That is so fun. What is flipping each other off gonna do? Huh? What? A few years back, one of my siblings must have ticked my mother off, and with all the stress of the past couple of days, she just snapped and fully pushed, the 3-meter Christmas tree over and took a saw to make tiny pieces out of it. True story. And the woman is 5'2". Your mother cut up your Christmas tree? The year was 2012. My family had reached boiling point that year. My brother had been kicked out of the army. I was a 17-year-old stoner about to drop out of school. My parents' marriage was a shit show and almost ripe for divorce, and my sister was over from the US for the holidays. You can imagine the mood was already bad enough. In the middle of Christmas dinner, the doorbell rings. Who the fuck disturbs a family on Christmas night, you ask? We were thinking the same thing. Without hesitation, my brother gets up from the table and disappears for several minutes. My father, after a few moments of broiling in his own emotions and changing his face color to all shades of red, gets up to shit on the unknown visitor and finds my brother dealing weed to him. On Christmas night! You can imagine the drama that ensued. Little did we know that if my brother hadn't gotten up from the table and ensured my father would drive off for hours afterwards, my father would have told us of his year-long affair that night. That, as well as the child he was about to have with his mistress, and that he was planning on leaving the family. So, my idiot brother actually saved Christmas by dealing drugs. My father did end up telling us around New Year's. Okay, that's the worst one. That has to be one of the worst ones. Other than the whole child not belonging to R or L or whatever the fuck. I feel so bad for you guys. I'm sorry. My grandma went out to the garage to smoke after Christmas dinner and intentionally slammed her arm in the car door, breaking her wrist in the process. Why? She wanted to see if her pain medication was working. Needless to say, her experiment caused us to spend the rest of Christmas in the emergency room. And lastly, I went drinking with some buddies on the 23rd and then went to midnight mass on the 24th. Things were going swimmingly, but then it hit me. I got the bubble guts 10 minutes in. If that means what I think it means, okay. My gut forced me to let a silent fart out. This SBD had the power to melt candles, but luckily I got away with it since it was crowded and a baby was near. Then my gut wanted to make an encore, so I made a butt-clenching walk to the church's bathroom, which happened to only be one male and one female unit. The men's was occupied, so I ran to the women's and just about kicked the door open. Then it happened. When I looked back to see the damage, there was no toilet paper, so I tore my skivvies off and wiped my ass with those. I waited outside by my parents' car in the freezing cold with no jacket for another hour or so until the mass ended, since my pants had poo splatter on them. My parents laughed their asses off the entire way home. Y'all are killing me. You're killing me! That is so fucking funny. Do I even say I hope you enjoyed? Because I think we're all crying at this point. Some of those were funny. Like, the last one was funny. The first one was like, whatever. Some of those were genuinely heartbreaking. I don't know how I feel. Like, I'm kind of speechless right now. Like, some of those were just so fucking sad. And it's like, what do you do after that? Like, your family's just fucking destroyed. What do? You just move on with life? Like, I don't fucking... My parents are divorced, so, like, I kind of get it. But it wasn't that bad. Well, that's all I have for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to hear the Christmas paranormal stories, just let me know and I'll read them next week. I think next week is Christmas, which is a little crazy. Like, where did that come from? But I'm gonna go. I love you guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye. I'm sweating my fucking ass off right now. It's not even funny. Like this thing doesn't even touch my armpit and there's sweat. I didn't have my heater on for a while because I didn't really need it. I live in Arizona. It's not super cold. It's freezing this week for us. I don't know where my voice just went. It's freezing for us. And it was fantastic because my APS bill was like $50 and I was like, God bless America. But I had to turn it on because it was like 60 degrees in here and I was like, I got cats, they're getting cold. So I turned my heater on, my fire alarm starts going off. It smelled horrendous. I was like, you're lying. You're lying. And then that scared my cats more than and I'm sure they would rather be cold than terrified. I don't know. So I turned it off and the fire alarm stopped going off. I also didn't want the fire department to show up So I turned off the heater and I was like, I'm just gonna suffer. But then it was freezing the next day too. So I texted my friend and I was like, is this normal? And she was like, yeah. And then I Googled it and it was normal. And then I called my front office and they said it was fine. Because I was like, just in case it happens again, I just want you to know. So I turned it on, the fire alarm didn't go off. I think I got rid of all the stinky stank because it burns off dust and shit. She was like, it'll smell like burning hair for a little bit. And I was like, ew. So I turned it on, the heater's been going, it's been fantastic. No more fire alarms. But yeah, I have to, and I don't want to experience what the last guy experienced. I'm gonna go. I love you guys so much. I really have to shit. See ya.